Oh. It's a beautiful day in the Minecraft neighborhood. A beautiful day for Minecraft. Hello boys and girls, it's Drackle. I'm back, playing Minecraft. After quite a while. Never quit playing totally, but didn't have time to play full time. And got distracted with other games in real life. But we don't come here for real life, we come here for fantasy. We come here for... I had something there. Shit. Alright, this is like the 5th take of this goddamn intro. I'm not doing it again. Alright, screw it. Screw it. Alright. I'm playing Minecraft, but I'm playing a modded version of Minecraft. This is called Feed the Beast Unleashed. It's the new mod pack from Feed the Beast. And as you can see, if you mouse over stuff, you get the name and all their hit points. So, I'm gonna go kill this sheep. 7, 6, 5, 4... 3, 2, 1. Anyway, it's actually got a whole bunch of mods. It's if any of you are familiar with Tekkit, it's similar to Tekkit. It has a lot of the same mods that Tekkit once had. But the new version of Tekkit, even though I really love Tekkit, I didn't like the mods in the new version. I felt a little bit limited. So I started looking for something else. And I found the Direwolf pack. I thought that was really cool, and this is an interesting story because I started playing that like 3 to 4 days ago, and the retard me didn't scroll up on the launcher, and I didn't see that they released a whole bunch of new mod packs like a couple days after, rather before I started playing the Direwolf pack. So I spent like 2 days playing that one, and then I realized this one was out, and I almost punched myself in the face. So I started all over again, and I'm sort of back to where I was when I was playing the Direwolf one. But in this episode you're going to see some of the old footage, so it might look a little bit different. Anyway, I'm thinking about making this a regular series, maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, I don't know. But let us get started, shall we? Shit. How do I turn this thing off? Home sweet home. Yep. It's actually a shit hole in the ground, but I don't know, it was pretty cheap. I mean, the woman that sold it to me promised me a very good price, and it is beachfront property, but you know, it's zoned as commercial and there's not a lot of schools around. The neighbors are kind of noisy, especially at night. You know, some of them tend to explode. But okay, I had a real estate joke in here somewhere, and like I was gonna go with it, but I just realized it was totally shit, and I apologize for wasting that last 30 seconds of your life. But anyway, let's talk about the mod pack. It's called Feed the Beast Unleashed, and it's got like 30 plus mods in it. I'm going to go inside so I don't die to some random creeper while I talk about the mods. And I actually have to tab out to read them all. Alright, what do we got in this one? We have... don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. We have infinibows. That's like infinite arrows for an enchanted bow. I think you have to build it though. Not enough items, which is this thing over here. It lets you look up all the recipes for stuff. That thing is amazing. And also has a lot of inventory tweaks, like if my iron pickaxe breaks, it'll automatically grab another one. Good stuff. We have also Applied Energistics, which is an amazing mod. It lets you like control all your storage from a computer screen, and you can pull anything out. You can also craft directly from that screen, but that's going to take a while. I need to like build a whole network, and it's expensive. So what else we got? We got Biomes of Plenty. Apparently that's disabled by default, so forget that. Bibliocraft, don't know what that is. We got Buildcraft. Alright, we know what Buildcraft is. That's been around forever. Automated mining with quarries, pipes to pump things from chests in and out, and yeah, a whole bunch of cool stuff. It's a great mod. Been playing that for a long time. Computercraft. Computercraft lets you make computers. These things. and they're literal computers. You can, write programs with them. You can control redstone circuits with them. It's a whole bunch of stuff. And it actually has an internet, like a wireless internet that you can use. So if you're on a multiplayer server, you can do something with it. All right, what else we got? Death timer disabled. Never mind. Equivalent Exchange 3. Okay. Equivalent Exchange 2 was completely fucking overpowered. It was really convenient, but I think that was the problem. So the new Equivalent Exchange is a lot less invasive. It's also a lot less useful. It lets you basically transmute blocks from one thing. Say you want to transmute, I don't know, gold into diamonds. I think you can still do that. But that's what it's for. But for more expensive items, you have to use more less expensive items. So it's hence equivalent. That's a good mod. We got forestry. Forestry is a great mod. We have some forestry machines over here. Got a carpenter and a squeezer, which squeezes juice out of seeds. That sounds so disgusting. Where's my peat? Here it is. Put that over there. Squeeze that juice. Yeah. God damn it, I'm like 12 years old all the damn time. Yeah, it adds bees and stuff. You can breed bees. Automated tree farms, automated farms. A lot of cool forest-related items. And these backpacks. Backpacks. Yeah. And they're for specific items, too, so they automatically pick up stuff. So, like, if you're walking through the woods and you're cutting down trees and you have a forester's backpack, the wood goes in the backpack. Amazing. Alright. What else we got? Industrial Craft 2. Industrial Craft is probably my favorite mod of all time. It adds a lot of machines, a lot of ways to power the machines, from solar panels all the way to nuclear reactors. And nuclear reactors is so much fun, especially when they explode. Yeah, you'll lose your house, so gotta be careful with them. But they do a lot of cool things with the machines, a lot of automation. Yeah, so we'll probably get started with Industrial Craft today, this episode, I'm hoping. Because that's usually where I start out with if I have Industrial Craft. I try to get the basic machines up and running. Alright, what else we got? We got magic bees. I'm assuming that's literally magic bees. Bees that are made of magic. Modular power suits. Modular power suits is amazing. Power armor. It has this armor that you literally put on, and you can install modules in the armor. So you can install like parachutes for falling, night vision, multi-tools in your glove, and there's a plasma cannon. It's a really awesome mod, very useful. It's also one of my favorite ones. Natura, don't know how to say that, but know what it is. It adds a whole bunch of new trees and stuff. You can see those pink trees over there, those pink trees, those red maple trees over there. It just makes the world look a little bit better. And it adds, I think it adds some seeds and stuff. What else we got? Mistcraft. We have Mistcraft. If you ever played the game Myst, you can go to different ages, basically different worlds that open up. And they're like, sort of like portals. And you go through the portal, and you're in a different world, and you can build stuff there. Cool stuff. Portal gun. It's literally a gun that makes portals, like from the game Portal. Railcraft. Railcraft adds a whole bunch of new tracks. Yeah, a lot of new tracks. I think my favorite is the jumpy track. What's it called? Launcher track. It literally launches the cart through the air, and it's really fun. A whole bunch of new functionality with tracks. I think there's signaling systems and stuff like that. Make a really cool minecart track network. Thalmcraft. Thalmcraft I don't know too much about. I know what it is. It's basically magic. Like you have a magic wand and you shoot fireballs from it. And this is my Thalmcraft chest. I don't really know too much about it. I know you can research stuff like transmutations, like lead into gold and that kind of thing. But it's all about magic, and I think we're gonna probably find that one out together. And then there's also the Twilight Forest mod, which is a whole new dimension. I don't really know much about it, but I'll do that eventually. And then besides that, there's about 15 or 20 other tinier mods that are gonna be a lot of fun to look at. Like, there's so much shit in this mod pack that I don't even know where to start. But we're gonna start with industrial craft. So the first priority here is to get a bank of industrial craft machines running. We're gonna get a macerator, not a masturbator. It's not like something I plug my dick into and then it services me. No, it's something that actually will double the ingots that you get from each ore. So that's like the first machine I always go for. So to do that, we're going to need to have something to power it. So we need a generator, and we're going to need the macerator. So what we're going to need to do is get a bunch of rubber from rubber trees, and well, hell with it, I'll just show you. Okay, so starting out in industrial craft, it's a little bit slow. And before I forget, there's one other thing I wanted to mention. There's another big mod in the pack called thermal expansion. And thermal expansion is kind of an alternative to industrial craft. I think it works with buildcraft power. And it has machines that pretty much do the same thing as a lot of industrial craft machines. It has pulverizers, which do the same thing as the macerator, and with other additional features. So there's basically two routes that you can go. You can start off with thermal expansion, or you can go industrial craft. Personally, I think starting thermal expansion is a little bit easier than industrial craft. At least the basic machines are easier to make. But sustaining industrial craft is a little bit easier because they have, how to explain, more renewable sources of power. With industrial craft, I usually use a lot of solar panels, so I don't have to keep running and getting a whole bunch of coal for engines or lava or bio stuff for the biofuel engines. But we're going to eventually do both. But we're going to start with industrial craft. So the first thing you got to do is find these trees. And these are rubber trees. And they're very distinctive looking. And you'll notice the little orange things on them. Not all of them have these little orange dots. But when they do have the orange dots, that means you can tap them for rubber. And you do that by getting a tree tap, which is just made out of wood. And then you just... Ooh. That sounds really nasty. Ugh. Anyway. And this thing flies... where'd it go? Alright, so this is the backpacks again. The backpacks automatically pick up stuff depending on what kind of thing they are. So my forestry one picked that one up. Forester's, what's it called? The Forester's backpack? Yeah, it picks up automatically stuff that comes from trees. Makes sense. Anyway, you get this thing called sticky resin, and what you do is you go and you cook it in a furnace, and that makes rubber. But I've already done all that. And eventually what you want to do is get a machine called the extractor, which will extract rubber directly from rubber wood, so you don't have to tap everything. Because tapping is very slow. You have to wait for the trees to grow, and then you only get like 1 or 2 per tree, and it's a real pain. But I've already gone through all that, and I've gotten a bunch of rubber. So what we're gonna do now is make a generator. And why do we need a generator? Because we need to actually have something that powers our machines, right? And that makes sense. So we need to build a generator. And to do that, we need an RE battery. It can be empty, it doesn't have to be full. And we need refined iron and basically a furnace. So that's pretty easy to do. So the first thing I want to do is get my iron. And by the way, these are iron furnaces. They're slightly more efficient than normal furnaces, so that's why I always make iron furnaces. So we're going to put a whole bunch of iron in the furnace. My chests are so organized. I'm so proud of myself. I am rarely organized. Anyway, so while that cooks, what we need to do is make the components for the generator. The other components. We need the RE battery. For some reason I can never click on this. It's been like 2 years and they haven't fixed that goddamn thing. So we need to look up the recipe. It's tin, some redstone, and a copper cable. And the copper cable you make with the rubber and copper. Makes sense. So I got that already. Now I need redstone, and I already have a machine block, so we can get that. And I have some gravel or flint. We're gonna need that. and some redstone, that's uranium for nuclear reactors, and tin. I need tin. Rin tin. Okay, so we're going to make what's called electric circuit, I think. Or no, we're making a battery. Jesus Christ, I haven't slept. I'm really tired. So we don't actually need a circuit for this, I don't think. We need a circuit probably for the... what are we making? A macerator. We need a circuit for the macerator. Okay, so we need a battery, a machine block, and a machine block is made just from this refined iron. You just put it around here, and refined iron is obviously iron that's been cooked one more time, and this makes a machine block. But I already have a couple of those, so I don't want to waste this iron. And now what we do is this, that, and we put the battery on top. And that should have worked. Why didn't that work? Okay, so we need the machine block. Okay. There's different types of recipes, or different recipes for the same things. And now we have a generator. Yay, generator. I'm going to put it over here. So I'm going to put this here, and this thing will power, it looks like a furnace. This thing will power our machines, and it powers it by burning stuff the same way a furnace burns stuff, so you can put coal in there, charcoal, saplings, that kind of thing. But what I recommend you do is use charcoal, because coal is actually really useful in industrial craft for making solar panels and stuff like that. Now there are other sources of power you can use besides this, but this is always what I go for because it's most convenient. If you have a lot of lava near you, you can make a geothermal generator, which is a little bit more complex. It's a generator plus some stuff, and that will use lava to generate power. It's much more efficient than the normal generator, but I don't have any lava on hand. Or you can make a windmill, which are kind of crap. I honestly would say stay away from that. It makes very little power. And you can make a solar panel, but you're generally not going to have enough stuff for the solar panel when you just start. The other option is a water mill, but that is also very slow, though it is pretty easy to make. And eventually, I like to use some of them for just very low power systems that when you need to sustain themselves. But now we've got ourselves a generator, and so we have power for our machines, but we don't have any machines, so we need to make a macerator. And that's a machine block, and here's the electronic circuit. Okay. This isn't the correct recipe. I assume that works, but I don't even know what a force ingot is. So we're going to use the traditional industrial craft recipe, which is redstone, refined iron, and copper cabling. So I got some copper cabling over here. And we just do this and that. And now we have an electronic circuit. Sweet. And now we need cobblestone, a machine block, and some flint. Got a machine block here. And I'm like terrible at remembering recipes, so you can also click the little question mark and it shows you the recipe and like an overlay, which is so useful. So useful. And this is our macerator. Yay. And you can just plunk it next to the generator. As long as it's touching it, it'll give it power. Now I want to power the generator. So I need charcoal or coal, doesn't really matter. And I need some ore to demonstrate how this works. You know, I'm so organized now and I can't find what the fuck I'm looking for. Okay. What should we smelt? Try to smelt as little as possible in a traditional furnace. Try to get the macerator as quickly as possible because you're missing out. And what are you missing out on? You're missing out on this. And if this is red, it's powered. Ooh, it makes a cool noise. And once this finishes its little bar here, you're going to see 2 copper dust come out of 1 copper ore. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Copper dust. And copper dust can just go right into the furnace, and each dust will make 1 ingot. So essentially, from each piece of ore you get that you macerate, you're going to get 2 ingots. So it's very well worth it to wait on smelting stuff until you get a macerator. So try to use as little ore as possible when you first start out. And that's our first machine with industrial craft. Yay! The next things you want to make is probably an extractor. An extractor will extract rubber directly from the rubber wood, so you don't have to do the tree tap thing. And it's pretty essential. Like, you might almost want to make it before the macerator, because you're gonna need tons and tons of rubber just to keep up and do a whole bunch of stuff in industrial craft. So yeah, that's our first machine, and it's probably the most useful machine in the entire mod pack. And that's what I always try to rush for and get started. Now, another thing you might want to do is get a battery box. It's called a bat box. And that's made with 3 batteries and some wood and some cabling. And that will store power, so you can put it right next to the generator and it will store power. And then you could connect it to a whole bunch of machines. And that's to make sure this thing doesn't waste extra power. And it also lets you store power from other things like the windmill or solar panels, because you can't really connect them directly into machines, because they're always going to be producing energy, but if your machines don't need the energy, it's not going to use it. So you want energy storage. I'm not going to make one of those quite yet, but basically what you would do, you could plunk a battery box down next to the generator and then hook it up via cables like this to whatever you want, all your other machines. Alright, so that's like the first step in industrial craft. Now that we have that machine, we could do anything we want. We could go to the next sort of tier of machines. And there's a million different machines. You know, there's extractors, there's canning machines that make cans of food, well, like way back before food stacked. That was the only way to get stacks of food, and that was such a useful machine. There is, like I said, nuclear reactors. Those are a lot of fun. I'm like completely blanking on so many machines that are useful. Compressors literally compress things, and you need that to make the more advanced alloys, like if you're going to make a nuclear reactor. Special different types of power armor. And in industrial craft you have stuff called quantum armor, which is basically you can't fucking die. There's nanosuit armor. There's also lightsabers that you can make with industrial craft. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and we're barely scratching the surface. So that's industrial craft, at least the very beginning, and that's the first thing you should do. So now what else? I'm not sure, but let's figure something out. I made a chainsaw. That's kind of cool. This is another piece of industrial craft. It cuts wood really fast. And it also cuts leaf blocks like shears. But you have to power it. Holy shit, that's fast. But I'm already out of power. I'm wondering if there's like an upgrade for the power, because that was like super fast. But it makes cool noises. Yeah. Alright, I think we'll leave this episode there. We started out with industrial craft, we got our first decent machine, and I explained a whole bunch of stuff about the mod pack, but there is so much stuff left to do. In terms of what I've done so far, it's like 1% of what can possibly be done. But I just want to explain real quick what my idea or my vision is of my build in this series. This is kind of a natural harbor. You can kind of see that. So I'm actually going to make like a dock here. It's going to look really cool. And I'm thinking I'm going to build a... What was that weird graphical glitch? I don't know what that was. Let's pretend it didn't happen. Ugh. Am I on acid? Okay. So I was thinking about building like a big wall from that hill over to that hill, which is behind the trees that you can't see. And then have probably like a walled compound or a city. I hesitate to call it a city. It's not really a city. but just it's gonna have all my stuff in it. It's gonna have, you know, like this farm here, just wheat and carrots. I'm gonna have automated farms with the forestry mod, peat bogs. I gotta make one of those. I had one going earlier, but I gotta make a proper one. And I think over here I'm gonna set up my bee area, because forestry you can actually crossbreed bees, and the bees actually will also pollinate different trees, so you can get new trees which create new types of wood, like walnut, cherry, that kind of stuff. And cherries, you can actually eat the cherries and the walnuts, and it's actually a lot of fun to crossbreed the bees. It's a big, really intricate system. I think that's the word I was looking for. It sounds kind of dumb, I'm going to breed some bees, but it's actually a lot of fun. And that's part of the forestry mod. And I'll probably do that next episode. And I probably also am going to build some thermal exchange or thermal expansion. Jesus Christ, thermal expansion machines, and I'll show you the sort of alternative to industrial craft. And I need to get that set up, and I need to get Buildcraft Power set up for that. So I will work on that, and then maybe the third or fourth episode I'll do a little bit of Thaumcraft, which is the magic stuff. But for now, I think that's about it. And to play myself out, I'm going to show an outtake from the old episode, one that I recorded but didn't use. So good night, and I will see you guys probably in a couple days. Though it'll be actually more than a couple days for me, but it'll be only a couple days for you, because you're going to see this in the future and you're going to hear me talking in the past. Ha! So what I need to do is find a whole bunch of bees and look at the bee breeding combinations on the wiki and see which ones are good with which ones, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm fighting a skeleton. I know what I'm doing right now. There's a spider attacking me. So I should probably wait for the weather to clear, but yeah, that's just how we roll. I mean, am I right? Am I right? Yeah, yeah, this guy knows what it's about. Yeah, by the way, you're gonna die. Oh. That guy's a fucking champ. He just stood there and took it. Man. You're my bro.